I have a couple of announcements. Today we will not be having a musician, partly because of the potluck. We decided, and it's a lot easier to find speakers than it is musicians, so we will be continuing with the potluck once a month. And on those days we have a potluck, we won't have a musician, so just FYI. Just a few things. You'll see a few more of us with these spiffy name tags on. If anybody new has any questions or anything, just, come up and ask one of us. We're 3 months in, and we were supposed to be doing a community moment, which is, just a 5-minute, any of you that want to get up and speak for 5 minutes and share something informative about your community, some news, tidbit is great, or something personal. Either way, we would love to hear from you. So you can either, message us through our Wichita Oasis at Gmail, Facebook, or just approach one of us. We have next to the poster board out there in the hallway, we now have our bank statement up. It's just a couple pieces of paper pinned to the wall, so you can take a look at that. We haven't really detailed much next to it, next to all the entries, but just so you can kind of see what our donations are, all that kind of stuff, in an effort to be transparent. So that's up there. If you have any questions about it, just let one of us know. Arts and crafts. Pretty much every Saturday, unless we announce otherwise. Saturday from 1 to 3, arts and crafts. Right now we're going strong on those waterproof mats for the homeless. We've been taking the plastic grocery sacks, making them into plarn. I say we, I have not been involved in that. But now we have like a small section done, so if you want to check it out and see what it looks like, ask Lee, our arts and crafts coordinator.
I have a title.
And almost last but not least, our website. So we have an awesome guy that I don't think is here today, but he's been helping us a lot with our website, and it'll still be the same, wichitaoasis.org. But it will be getting completely revamped in about 2 weeks, and it will look gorgeous, and it will also have a donate button. You can do recurring or one time. So here in a couple weeks, you can do everything online. So if you would like to donate. And then, very last thing, and I'm going to be reminding you about this every time until it happens, every Sunday, April 11th, we have a special election. As it gets closer, I'll start getting meaner about you better go out and vote. So, yeah, that's it. And our speaker today is Cam Awesome. I will let him talk a little bit about himself, since I'm sure he's used to doing that. But we are really excited. He came to speak to Kansas City Oasis, and they loved him. So we're really excited about hearing him speak today.
No pressure.
Lights off?
No.
Sure?
No need for lights. It's very low maintenance. So much so that I really don't like. Oh, everyone, wait. Yeah, I don't like podiums. They're freaking a microphone stand. And I'm really good at introductions, guys. I don't know if you noticed. We'll just leave that there. Act like none of this happened. Coming to the stage, Cam. Hey, guys. So, too dumb to be discouraged. That's what I am. And we should probably bring up the elephant in the room. Wrong too, right? Does that not annoy anyone? 'Cause that is freaking me out. I don't like things like this. Really bothers me. You should fix it. And you're probably saying to yourself, Cam, it's your laptop. Why don't you fix it? and I'll let you know.
That's discouraging.
It's because I wouldn't have an introduction otherwise. Now, to sum up who I am in just a short clip of my boxing, I like to have a lot of fun when I fight. It's not so much showboating as much as me enjoying myself, and I like to dance. So I win and dance. So that's basically who I am. I'm too dumb to be discouraged. I was never known as being the smart kid in school, so that's okay. I'll share a little story about the time that my teacher was wrong. She gave us a test. I filled out the answer. I have already blanked the book. You know, read the book. R-E-D. Read the book. She said, it's read. R-E-A-D. And she said, that's red. I'm like, no, that's red. And she's like, that's red. I'm like, that's red. That's red. That's red. Red, red, red. I want to speak to your manager. I was eventually suspended from school for yelling at the principal or the manager, and I don't regret it, but my grandma sat me down when I got home, and I thought I was going to get in trouble for yelling at my teacher and my principal, and she sat me down and she slipped me a 20, and she said, "You can't be dumb and poor. Manage your money." And she didn't mean it in a mean way at all. Like, she thought I was actually dumb, but she always told me to manage my money. And I always grew up thinking that I was dumb, and that's why I got bad grades in tests. But it's clear that I have some attention deficit disorder, and we never dealt with it. I had aspirations of being great things. You ever heard someone talk about their spirit animal? Like, oh, this is my spirit animal. Like, I had a spirit animal that I wanted to be. The problem is, you don't get to choose your spirit animal. Your spirit animal chooses you. The spirit animal that I wanted, very few people I would rather be than Beyonce. But unfortunately, I received the flying fish as my spirit animal. And the flying fish is different than any other fish or other animal because it's the only thing that sucks at what it does. The flying fish, known for flying, never actually flown, failed 100% of the times it's tried to fly, but because it never quit, by default, it's the best flying fish you know. Right? So, I decided to take this approach in life. And when in 2013 I decided to legally change my name to Cam F. Awesome, and because I'm an adult, and I thought I was going to be awesome, I wasn't going to be the angry person I used to be, because I used to be very angry. I don't like losing, so I should just always win. And when I would lose a fight that I thought I won, I would lose my mind. I would throw things, I would flip off the judges, I would smash locker rooms, and it came to the point where, as a running joke, all of my friends and boxers called me Kanye West. I decided I wasn't going to be this person, I wasn't going to be Kanye anymore. So my solution was I just wasn't going to lose. That was my plan. That's usually always my plan. But I was winning for a few years, and then I ended up in Toronto fighting in the Pan Am Games, and I was going to be fighting a guy from Cuba, and he's the #1 boxer in the world. And it's going to be on TV, so if I beat him, everyone's going to know how good I am. I'm going to be famous, and it's going to be great. And then we fought, and I was like, oh man, it's pretty easy. And then they announced him as the winner. And I got upset. And I was like, whoa, what would Beyonce do? Because I often ask myself that. And I thought Beyonce would just wave. So I waved to the crowd, and I wasn't going to, I had every intention of smashing that locker room when I got back there. But I'm in front of like 20,000 people and on live TV, so I decided I was going to like play it cool. And a lot of people don't know this, but between the ring and the locker room, you have to walk through the fan tunnel, and that's where you like high-five fans and whatever, you get close to them, and then you have the media center, and then you have the locker room. So the fan tunnel it's a little awkward when you don't win because no one wants to high-five you. And there were these flags that they have Cubans, and you're probably like, how do you know the Cubans? Because they had Cuban flags. And I remember thinking, how'd they get this far north? And these flags are waving, and a flag slaps me in the face. And I tell myself, if another flag hits me, I'm gonna fight my second Cuban today. And then a flag hit me. And the guy was about three steps away. I can take one big step and I can crush him with a punch. And even if I missed the punch, I could have snatched his flag and stomped it in front of the 20,000 people there. But I decided that's not who I was gonna be. That's not what Beyonce would do. That's what Kanye would do. And I decided not to take that step to punch him, and I turned around, and as I turned around, Tony Collins from ESPN puts a microphone in my face. I never get interviewed by anyone in America, it's usually like Telemundo or some station, and I don't speak the language. This is ESPN, so I had three options. Option one, I always reserve the right to decline an interview, but I'm not turned down ESPN famous yet, so I'm gonna have to take that interview. Option two, I could say, the judges are corrupt, people are paid off, Cuba sucks, that's why they're trying to sneak into our country, I'm out. Or option number three, I could have been awesome, what would Beyonce do? And I decided I was gonna be the best version of myself. And then this happened.
It would be, as Delvin said, because he stood up for those final 10 seconds. You bet. Harrow wins it in the semifinal, knocking off Awesome. Great effort.
And I sweat a lot, by the way.
Thank you. We're here with Cam Awesome. Cam, not the decision you wanted. Tell us what happened out there.
I thought I was doing a lot of moving, and I thought I looked amazing, and I thought I won the first round, and I was like, oh, well, he's going to bring some more the second round. That second round came, I was like, oh, okay, I won that round as well. Cam, keep up the good work. You're truly looking amazing. Some people say you're the Taylor Swift of boxing. I'm not saying I'm the Taylor Swift of boxing, but I'm not saying I'm the Taylor Swift of boxing. And then the third round came, I was like, oh, they could have gave him that round. He did work a little more in the third round. But after I was like, oh, Cam, freedom beat communism. And then they announced the other corner. Roja, as they will say in Espanol, which is not ESPN Deportes, but for the bilingual viewers, I feel like they can appreciate that.
Cam, what was so tough about Rojo, about Red, about Fredo?
I mean, he's a very experienced fighter. He threw some good body shots, but core game on 100. I do sit-ups.
So that went on for a while. And I didn't know that went on live as well. And I got back to the locker room and I smashed it. And then I got to my hotel room and I got a tweet from some dude that said, that interview is going to change your life. And then I blocked him. I get emotional sometimes. And I don't remember saying any of that. It was kind of just like I was vomiting words. It's my talent. And none of that was planned. But I ended up getting tweeted by Nick Jonas, said I was his hero. Nick Jonas of the Jonas Brothers, which is an actual band and not a television show on Disney, like I thought it was. And Taylor Swift retweeted me, so like my social media following blew up, and corporations started reaching out to me to fly me from just different parts of the country for these dinner meals. They would literally pay me to eat. And I'm vegan, so there's nothing I can eat. So these people literally paid me for nothing. It was amazing. I was a famous athlete for 3 weeks. And till this day, anybody in the boxing world who knows me, I've won nationals over 10 times. I've traveled around the world. I've done a lot, but I'm known as the dude, the wrestling dude that did the funny interview. That's it. Like, you're the wrestling dude, right? Like, it's boxing, but I get it. So, a failure was my biggest success. And once I realized this is the right way to think about things, you can always spin things in a positive way, which is a lot easier to say when you're happy. But I don't know much about the stars, but I have this analogy, and let's not ask why there are 3 different fruits on this tree. If you're gonna reach for a fruit in the tree, like a normal person would get this one, because it's the closest. But if you miss, you get nothing. I decided I'm gonna go for this fruit every single time, and if I miss, I still have an option at all of these other fruit on the way down. So, to do that, I would just have to set large goals. So after boxing for a year, started at 17, I decided I was gonna go to the Olympics. Felt like that was appropriate. Made it to the Olympic trials. God knows how. Lost. Was I discouraged? No. Bounced back. I won nationals in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012. I went to the U.S. Olympic trials and I dominated the U.S. Olympic trials. And that's what happens when you're not discouraged. And I became not the third, not the second, but the first boxer in U.S. history to ever be suspended and kicked off the team for not filling out paperwork. Yeah. So USADA, United States Anti-Doping Agency, they're the ones who suspended me. They need to know where I am at all times. They know that I'm here right now. If they show up to where you say you're going to be and you're not there, that's a missed test. 3 of those in 18 months, that's a failed test. They kick you off the team for a year. This is not a real offense. It only became a real offense after Lance Armstrong went on Oprah and said a bunch of stuff. So like they cracked down on 13 athletes. I happen to be the first one. During this time, and Lenroy Thompson was my name before I changed it. During this time, I was super depressed. I gained a lot of weight. I was drinking and doing other things that seem really fun, but not fun when you're sad, but it kind of gets you through. I just kept gaining weight. And then I made a bet with someone drunkenly that Manny Pacquiao would beat Timothy Bradley in a fight. Timothy Bradley being a part-time vegan, can't win. So there's no way that Pacquiao could lose. I didn't even watch the fight because there's no way that Pacquiao could lose. And then I got a text message from my friend letting me know that I was going to be a vegan for 28 days because Pacquiao lost. Because I'm a man of my word, I decided to man up and I did my bet. The bet was to be vegan for 28 days. I didn't know that this also entailed sobriety. So after being sober for 28 days, I was like, oh, I'm losing some weight to get back into it. Actually, I dropped out of college for boxing. Don't really have a fall, like a backup plan. So I'm going to start back boxing. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to work so hard to make it to the 2016 Olympics. It took a lot to get to the 2012 Olympics, but I wasn't going to let anything stop me this time. No human, no test, nothing. Bounced back. After gaining 60 pounds, I lost 70 pounds. I changed weight classes. I won nationals in 2013, 2014, 2015. 2016, I went to the Olympic trials, dominated the Olympic trials, going to the 2016 Olympics. You guys want to hear about it? You guys ready to hear about Rio? Too bad, didn't go. After you qualify in America, now you have to qualify internationally. I lost my international bout on a split. So close to my dream. And I took a not so happy route when I didn't go to the Olympics in 2012. So I decided this time I was going to change. Instead of posting something sad, I posted, technically I'm 99% of an Olympian. That's pretty good. Especially since there are people with bumper stickers celebrating half of a marathon. So, I posted that, and then I got a girl to send me a message, and sent me a personal message and said that, hey, I was funny, but you've offended my running coach. I didn't know that running coaches were a thing. I haven't been to Kenya, but I'm pretty sure they don't have those. They're doing pretty damn good if you ask me. After having a few laughs at her expense, I looked into it and I found this guy, Jason Fitzgerald. Jason Fitzgerald is like the Michael Jordan of running coaches. He had this online program that he wanted to do, and he took all of his money, invested it, and he failed. And then he borrowed money from the bank to run this website and run this business, and it failed. And then he borrowed money from his friends and family, and finally, it started to pick up. He now writes books about running marathons, and he's a running coach, and he makes millions of dollars. His website grosses $20,000 a month off of just views. When they asked him, hey, little Jason, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's like, I want to take people farther. And they're like, you mean further? He's like, no, farther. I want to be a running coach. I'm like, well, Jason, that's not a thing. You know what he said? Not yet. And the most amazing part of this story is that I made it all up. But I do live by not yet. Now, when I was boxing for a while, and I feel like fail big, right? So I wanted to do stand-up comedy, and they're like, Cam, boxers don't make people laugh. And I'm like, not yet. So I decided I was going to be a stand-up comedian, and I was going to do it the right way. I started going to open mics Monday through Thursday. Sometimes I would have to wait 3 hours to perform for 4 minutes, and you would have to pay $5 to even get on stage. And I did it over and over and over and over, and it's very tough crowds because hole-in-the-wall bars, most people don't know there's a comedy show there until they get there, and then some dude with a mic just screaming jokes that aren't really that funny as like you're trying to talk to your friend. So you ignore the dude. I did terrible at first, and after it started getting a little better, I told all of my friends I'm gonna do my first comedy show. And I did my first comedy show, and all of them came out, and I was super excited, I was super pumped, and we got together and we celebrated me doing my first comedy show before I actually did my first comedy show. That's okay, I can have a couple drinks before I get on stage because I have everything memorized. In case I forgot anything, I had my phone in my back pocket with all of my jokes already written there, just as a fallback. I had it planned. And I'll do my first joke for you guys, and I'll show you guys exactly what happened. Like, come to the stage. Hey guys, thanks for coming out. It's always the same introduction when you're a boxer doing stand-up. Coming to the stage, if you don't laugh at his jokes, he'll punch you in the face. He'll beat you up, take your wife, and raise your kids as his own. Coming to the stage. That's ridiculous. Because I have zero intentions of raising my own children. Boom! So that joke went over well, and then I looked up and I got to see the difference between the hole-in-the-wall bars and actual comedy clubs. You can't see anything. It's just like a bright light, and the reason why they make fun of the first row is because that's all the comedian can see from the stage. I didn't know that at the time. So when I looked up and I saw this,